What's up, you guys? Steve here with your stimulus check update and stimulus package update. And this week is a big week for the stimulus. I'm going to get you guys caught up on the latest as to what we're going to be seeing unfold here in the House of Representatives starting today. Also, what's going to be happening in the Senate and with the parliamentarian, what they're calling the bird bath. So I'm going to get you guys caught up as to what's going to unfold here, and also Republicans who are unified against the bill. I'm going to let you know their stance, and also Democrats who are for the bill. But the question is, are they going to be able to stay unified? Because if they cannot, they're not going to be able to get this done through the process of reconciliation. So you guys, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as of today. This is a very big week starting February the 22nd. So we're going to dive into some articles and some video clips. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, it'll just take a second. If you like and appreciate these video updates, take a second to smash the like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Like button, comments, and sharing these videos out to anybody that you think might be interested. It helps out my channel. Thank you so much. And also, if you're not already a part of the viewing community here, the Ram fam, and you would like to stay up to date on everything rolling out, why don't you go ahead and take a second to smash the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, so that way, as soon as I upload videos, you can get notified right away. And if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3. I do my best to respond to as many questions here on YouTube as I can, but there's a lot, so I miss a lot of them. But Instagram is also a great way to get a hold of me as well. But now, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into the latest that's going to be unfolding with the bill and the checks starting this week. And I'm going to get you guys caught up as of today, February the 22nd. All right, you guys, so first let's take a look at a news article that's going to give us the schedule as to what's going to be unfolding this week. And then after that, we'll look at some video footage, first at Republicans and their perspective of the bill who are against it, and then Democrats who are trying to stay unified. So first up, link in the description below to this article that just came out this morning that says the most crucial week yet on pandemic relief begins. And the article says this is what you're going to see in the House. So the House Budget Committee is going to meet at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, that's today, and they're going to mark up the 591-page bill and work to pass it through the committees. Now, this is going to be an opportunity for Republicans to voice their opinions against it. They're saying there's a lot of stuff in here that, in their opinion, has nothing to do with the pandemic, and they're going to be offering up amendments. And it's expected that none of these amendments are going to pass in the House, and they're going to go ahead and pass it through without Republican support. So that's what's expected to start happening today in the House of Representatives. Now, meanwhile, in the Senate, what we're hearing is that starting as early as tomorrow, Tuesday, Democrats and Republican staffers from the Senate are going to be sitting down with Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough to hash out whether or not that $15 per hour minimum wage increase should be included in the reconciliation process. Now, they're saying this is a double-edged sword for Democrats because they're going to be able to push this through as they want with only a 51 majority vote in the Senate. However, they have to adhere to a strict series of rules for the reconciliation process, and what they're saying is that $15 per hour minimum wage increase, that might not be something that can be included in this bill. Now, just to clarify, this process that could be starting tomorrow is going to be known as the bird bath, and this is to ensure that there's nothing included in that reconciliation bill that does not have to do with budget reconciliation. So there's no abuse of power for this process. And what they're saying is that $15 per hour minimum wage could get thrown out. Now, if it is, it's not going to be included in the bill, but it's very likely Democrats will unify for the bill and they'll go ahead and pass it through. Now, if it is included, we have heard a couple Democrats say they do not support it. So we're going to see if they all get on board, because if they are not unified, they're not going to be able to pass this bill, and they're not going to get any support from Republicans who have vocalized very clearly that they are not in support of this bill. Now, speaking of support for the bill and Democrats and Republicans, let's take a look at some news interviews that just unfolded, and we're going to see Republican perspectives, and then we're going to listen to Democrats and also that $15 per hour minimum wage. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
Biggest item on the agenda this week, getting money and resources to American families and businesses hit hard by the pandemic. Tomorrow, the House Budget Committee will review all 591 pages of the American Rescue Plan. The proposal covers the $1,400 stimulus checks, federal unemployment assistance, a 15% increase in federal food benefits through SNAP, and funding for K through 12 schools. Right now, Democrats are prepared to pass the bill in a party line vote. Arkansas Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson reacted this morning in an interview with CNN.
It's a fair debate as to what's included in that bill and how much debt we're going to put on our children for the future. and it's a very expensive bill at $1.9 trillion. I read the bill last night, 590 pages, that covers everything from the arts to food for peace programs. And it really looks like it just took all the federal programs, enhanced their budget. It needs to be more targeted. And so we need that relief. We need to enact, but my message is that I would have preferred it to be done in a bipartisan way, and I think that it could be trimmed back, and I think that's important. And when Americans say they want that and they support it, absolutely.
So there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as we heard him say that Republicans do support more relief, but they'd like it to be more targeted. He said that there's funding in this bill for like the arts and things that are not related to the pandemic, and he says that Republicans just can't support it, and they'd like to get bipartisan support and back the bill, but something like this, he said they just can't do it. Now, in the meantime, Democrats, they don't need Republican support. They can pass this with the majority vote through the reconciliation process if they stay unified. And of course, as I mentioned, that $15 per hour minimum wage provision, that is the main one that could divide the Democratic Party. So let's take a look at an interview that discusses this a little bit further. Let's go ahead and dive in.
The president made clear that a minimum wage increase to $15 might not happen in this bill. Do you think he's fighting hard enough to get this done?
Well, the president came out very strong early on, saying he wanted a $15 minimum wage in this bill. He has been fairly consistent on that. I know there are questions about whether or not the Senate can get it through, but I can tell you, Dana, this $15 minimum wage increase would mean 30 million Americans would get a raise, 1 million Americans would come out of poverty, and 30% of those minimum wage workers are Black, 25% are Latinx. It is absolutely essential that we do it, and I believe the Senate will do it.
You said that he was consistent, but he's also said he doesn't actually think it's going to end up in this bill.
Well, let's see. I think he's speaking as he's thinking about whether or not it's going to make it through according to the parliamentarian's rule. But I've been speaking with Senator Sanders pretty regularly, with Speaker Pelosi, with the White House. And if Republicans could give a $2 trillion tax break to the wealthiest people and stop Arctic drilling, or continue drilling in the Arctic, then I think that Democrats can make sure that 30 million Americans get a raise.
Well, even if the parliamentarian says yes, it seems like it's possible you might not have the votes. You've said that, quote, we can't let one or two Democrats prevent the $15 minimum wage from being in the relief bill. There are currently 2 Democratic senators who are not on board with it, Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona. What's your message to them?
My message is 30 million Americans deserve a raise. We have not raised the minimum wage in 12 years. And, the place that people are in today where they can't put food on their table, essential workers, many Black, brown, and indigenous are, going to work every day and trying to exist on $15,000 a year. You just can't feed a family, much less put anything away for any emergencies. And so if we're going to be real about tackling racial inequity, economic inequity, then we are going to have to raise the minimum wage.
So there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as we heard her say that her message to those 2 Democrats that are saying they're not going to support it is that this is going to help millions of people keep food on the table, and that it's time to increase the minimum wage, and that it should be a part of the bill. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, this is pretty much still going to be up to the parliamentarian to see if this gets passed through or not, and I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date on that. And also, if you want to know all the details about what's in the bill and more information about the stimulus checks, be sure to check out these videos right here where I go into more detail, one about the Ways and Means Committee section of the bill, and also one specifically on the stimulus checks. Be sure to check those out to get more information as to what's currently in that bill. And you guys, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date as to what unfolds. This is a very big week for the checks, the package, and everything having to do with stimulus in Congress. And you guys, if you made it this far and you haven't already, take a second to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date on everything rolling out, and also be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3. Well, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. I'll be sure to keep you up to date this week. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.